Okay, let's get right into a question that a lot of us bump up against when we feel stuck. Do I need a coach or do I need a therapist? They might sound kind of similar, but trust me, they are two very different paths. So we're going to break down what really separates them so you can figure out the right kind of support for your own journey. Does this look familiar? That feeling that you're just stuck? You know you want to move forward. You want something to change, but you're just not sure which way to turn. Maybe it's about your job or a relationship, or just this nagging feeling that you're not quite living up to your potential. Yeah, that fork in the road is a really common place to be. And this quote right here, wow, it just nails that feeling, doesn't it? This is from someone who was wrestling with that exact problem. It just perfectly captures that sense of being adrift, of wanting more purpose but having no idea how to grab onto it. And, it's that feeling of fluting that usually makes us start looking for help. So if any of that resonates with you, I want you to know you are definitely not alone. The problem is, the solution isn't always so clear. The lines between therapy and coaching can get really blurry, and honestly, picking the wrong one can just mean you're delaying the progress you're really looking for. So our goal right now is to draw a super clear map of these two paths for you. First up, let's walk down the therapy path. We're calling this the journey of healing for a reason. Because at its heart, therapy is all about healing. It's a process focused on understanding where you've been so you can change how you feel right now. And let's be really precise here. Therapy isn't just chatting about your problems. It's a clinical practice. A therapist is a licensed healthcare professional. They're trained to actually diagnose and treat specific mental health conditions. We're talking about things like depression, anxiety, or trauma that really get in the way of your day-to-day life. That clinical part is a huge, huge distinction. A lot of the time, therapy involves looking backward in order to move forward. The work is really about digging into past events, to heal from old wounds, to understand the roots of why you do the things you do, and to learn how to manage symptoms. It's all geared toward answering one fundamental question: why do I feel this way? And that leads to something that's absolutely crucial: safety and professionalism. See, therapists are licensed. They're regulated by official boards, like the one you see here. They have to follow a strict code of ethics, which makes sure that they're qualified and, most importantly, that you are protected. All right, so let's switch gears and talk about the second path, coaching. We're calling this the journey of achieving because it's an immediate shift in focus. We're moving away from healing the past and toward actually building a specific future. So this definition comes straight from the International Coaching Federation, which is a major certifying body. And the keywords you really want to pay attention to here are partnering, thought-provoking, and potential. Coaching starts from the idea that you are already mentally well and functional. The goal is to get you from good to great. So you can see the focus here is totally different. It's action-oriented. It's all about what's next. It assumes you have a solid foundation, and it's about building on it. The work is about hitting real, tangible goals, cranking up your performance, and coming up with a clear strategy. So the question completely shifts from, why do I feel this way, to, okay, how do I get there?
Now, this right here is probably the most critical difference you need to know. While the best coaches get certified by professional groups like the ICF and follow their rules, the coaching industry as a whole is not regulated by the government. And that means pretty much anyone can hang up a shingle and call themselves a life coach. And that lack of regulation brings us to a really important and sometimes tricky discussion: the gray zone. Because the lines between coaching and therapy can get pretty blurry, and that can lead to a lot of confusion and, frankly, even some risk. This quote from a discussion among professionals in the field just says it all. The fact that there's no official regulation means the quality, the training, the ethics, it's all over the place. It really can be the Wild West out there. And this is the single biggest risk we're talking about, when somebody who really needs clinical therapy ends up with a coach who's not equipped to handle their issues. This is genuinely dangerous because it means they're not getting the proper treatment they need, and their condition could actually get worse. So, to protect people, professional coaching groups have drawn some very hard lines. They've established clear red flags, and the things on this list are some of the most serious. Any sign of ongoing depression, severe anxiety, substance abuse, or any thoughts of self-harm, these are immediate signs that coaching is the wrong tool for the job. A good ethical coach is trained to spot these, stop what they're doing, and refer that client to a licensed therapist. Period. The client's safety is always priority number one. And I really want to stress this.
A well-trained, ethical coach knows these boundaries inside and out. They understand their job is to do no harm, and they will always put a client's well-being first by making that referral when it's needed. Okay, so with all of that on the table, how in the world do you actually decide which path is right for you? Let's build a really simple framework to help you make that call. So let's just lay it all out side by side. You should lean towards a therapist if your main goal is to heal, if you're dealing with symptoms of a mental health condition, or if you really need to understand the why behind your emotions. But you should probably look for a coach if you're feeling mentally pretty good, but you're just stuck on your goals and you need strategy and accountability to build a different future. If you need a really simple way to remember all this, here's a great analogy. Think of it this way. Therapy is like repairing the foundation of your house. It's making sure the whole structure is safe and stable. Coaching, on the other hand, is like building a brand new extension onto that house. And you can only do that once you know for sure that the foundation is solid. So at the end of the day, this isn't about which one is better. It's all about what's right for you right now. And what's right for you might change. It's totally normal to see a therapist for one season of your life and then work with a coach in the next. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Maybe the question you should be asking isn't therapy or coaching. For a lot of people, the most powerful path forward is to ask, which one do I need first? Get that foundation solid, and then you can build whatever you want. And making that choice, that's the first and most powerful step you can take.